All right. Well, I'll be darned. You guys have any questions for me? Any of you guys, kids, have a question? Yes.
What's it like being president?
What's it like being president? Well, first of all, it's probably the greatest honor anyone in America can have bestowed on them, number one. Number two, one of the best parts is, and I mean this sincerely, you get to meet so many different people. And number three, it also means that you live in this house. It's not a bad place to live, you know? And number four, it gets to meet folks like you, and I really mean it. Thank you, thank you. What's your name, Angel? Hadley. What's your question?
Um, what? How many people live in the house?
How many people live in the house? Well, right now, the only two people live in the house every night of the family is Mrs. Biden and me, but we have grandchildren and children. So I have a son who lives in California but comes once in a while with his family. And I have a daughter who lives up in Philadelphia. She works to help women who are victims of violence, and she's a social worker. And every once in a while, she comes down with her husband. And then the best part of it all, I have 6 grandchildren, and I'm crazy about them. And I speak to them every single day. Not a joke. Matter of fact, I just got finished going through the calls, and only one of them answered the phone. But at least I got to leave a message. And my oldest granddaughter is named after one of my daughters who I lost in an accident a long time ago. And her name is Naomi. And then I have number 2, I have a daughter who works in the environmental movement, and her name is Finnegan, and named after my mom. And number 3, my granddaughter, I call her my All-American girl. She was a great little athlete. And she's about to graduate from college in about 2 weeks, and her name is the nickname we call her is Maisie. And then I have 2 other granddaughter who I just did get to speak to, and her name is Natalie, and she is a senior in high school, about to graduate and go off to college where her daddy went to school. And then I have a grandson who's going to be a senior in high school. And then now I have a new baby boy. He's 3.5 years old, and his daddy named him after his brother, my deceased son, and he's Beau Biden. So and guess what? They're crazy about me because I pay so much attention to them. Anybody else have any questions? Yes, baby. What do you have? Oh.
My name's Amelia, and where are your grandsons or granddaughters?
We're okay. Her name is Amelia. She wants to know where my granddaughters are. One granddaughter lives in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia. One granddaughter lives in New York. One granddaughter lives in Washington. One granddaughter lives in Wilmington, Delaware. And the other grandsons, my grandson lives in California. I left somebody out, didn't I? Anyway, Philadelphia, Wilmington, and I did say 5. You're right. So let me see. I got 1 in New York, 2 in Philadelphia. There's a 3. No, 3, because I got one granddaughter who is, I don't know. You're confusing me, but they're all around. Wilmington, California, New York, and Philadelphia, the cities they live in. Yes, honey.
I'm Shia, and I wanted to ask, why did you want to become the president?
Why did I want to become the president? Well, you know, when I was younger, 120 years ago, when I was younger, I lived in a state that it was very hard for African Americans to have a fair chance. It was segregated by law. And so as a high school student, I got involved in what's called the Civil Rights Movement. And so one of the things that was happening in my state was we were trying to get people to run to fight for civil rights. And we were having trouble getting that many people to run when I started off. And they asked me to run, and I said I didn't want to. And then my sister, who's my best friend, my sister used to be 3 years younger than me. Now she's 20 years younger than me. We went to the same university. She graduated with honors. I graduated, but she managed my campaign, and so we ran in a district with my team, the team I belonged to, hadn't won, and so I said, okay, I'd run to be the good sport. But guess what? We won because of my sister. And next thing I know, one thing came after another, and then it turned out that I ended up being a senator for a long time, and then President Obama asked me to be his vice president, and then I ran for president 4 years later. Yes, honey.
What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Now she's talking my language. What's my favorite ice cream flavor? I may be among the dullest presidents of the world because I'm known for two things: my Ray-Ban sunglasses and chocolate chip ice cream. That's my favorite. Down here, yes, what's your question, honey?
My question is, what makes you hopeful for the next generation of America?
You. I said, what makes me hopeful for the next generation of Americans? The generation of Americans, from you guys to people all the way to their late 20s, is the most open, the least prejudiced, the best educated, and the most giving generation in American history. For real. Not a joke. And that's why I'm so hopeful. Because in America, we can do anything. Anything at all if we do it together for real. There's not a single thing we can't do. And what gives me the most hope is all of you guys, for real. And that's the God's truth. At any rate, yes?
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue. Not because when I started off, it wasn't red and blue states. Everything was, anyway. But that's my favorite color.
How did you become a president?
I became a president by going asking people like your mommy and daddy, and I don't know your mommy and daddy, but asking them to look me over, I'd say. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other guy, but give me a look. And but I ran because I think America is not only the greatest nation in the world, but we can do more than any other nation to keep peace and help people going. I'm going to take two more. I'm getting myself in trouble here because your parents are saying, when's he going to stop? And my Secret Service agents, they're packing, so I got to be careful what they tell me.
What do you do on a daily basis?
What do I do on a daily basis? Well, without getting into the whole, every morning I have a meeting with what they call the National Security Count, the people collect all the information overnight, the secrets around the world, and fill me in on what they know is happening and not happening. And so I sit with the head of the CIA, the head of the military, and I do that. Every morning I meet with my chief of staff to find out what the most important things are going on that day. And then it depends. For example, today I'm going to be, anyway, the schedule varies, and then I meet with my press team and I talk to the press as well. Yes?
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie was the new movie that was about that guy who flies jet planes. You know who I'm talking about?
Top Gun?
Top Gun. Did you see Top Gun Maverick? That's been my favorite movie I've seen this year.
Can I please have a fist bump?
Mr. President, I heard you have to get back to the Oval Office.
What was that? Oh! Hi, how are you?
Hi.
What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
I said you have to get back to I heard you had to get back to the Oval Office.
And by the way, the one thing I thought when I got to be president, I'd get to give orders. But I take more orders than I ever did, and you're right, babe. What's your name?
Kathleen.
Kathleen, what a beautiful name. Kathleen's reminding me I've got to get back to the office. If I don't go, they're going to get the Secret Service working on me, so I'm going to be in trouble.